So this is the left front, and I have knit to 15 inches or 104 rows. That was how many I did on the back. So I'm now going to cast off 6 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And I'm going to knit to the end of that row to the last 2 stitches. And I will meet you when I get to the end of that row. I've come to the end of the row, and I was going to decrease 2 together at the end of the row, but I've decided to do it on the purl side instead. That'll be easier to keep the pattern in line. So this is for the V-neck. So I'm going to purl 1 stitch and then purl 2 together and just purl across the rest of the rows. And I will meet you at the end of that row. So there you can see where I've knit the 2 stitches together. They'll not be as noticeable on the doing it on the purl row. So now I have to cast off 2 stitches. We have to do that twice. We've cast off 6 stitches, the same as the back. We'll have to cast off 2 stitches, knit to the end of the row, come back again, and then cast off another 2 stitches. And then there will be decreasing 8 stitches on each row, beginning of 8 rows, not 8 stitches altogether. So this is cast off 2. And as I'm at the end of the ball, I'm going to start with another one here. Put that in and make a purl stitch. And I will meet you at the end of that row. And I'm going to purl across the next row. And I'll meet you at the end of that row. So I'm going to cast off another 2 stitches. One, purl 1, 2, and then knit to the end of that row. And I will meet you at the end of that row. Had to put the light on, it's turned out a bit dark. So this next row is a decreasing for the neck. So I'm going to purl 1 and purl 2 together. And then purl across the row. Now we'll meet you at the end of that row. And now I'm at the end. The last 3 stitches, and I'm going to purl 2 together and purl 1 the last stitch. And that's the first of the 8 stitches I'm decreasing at the on every row at the armhole edge. So we've done 1, and I'll knit 1 and purl 2 together, and following the pattern. You want to oops, done 1 too many there. And I will meet you at the end of that row. That's 2 decreasing rows we've done, and this one here is going to be the 3rd. So just carry on those increases until you have done 8 creases on the armhole edge. And I will meet you at the end of those rows. So that's the decreasing on the armhole edge finished. Now we're just going to decrease every 4th row on the V-neck part, and you'll do that until you have 22 stitches remaining. And these stitches at the moment should be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 35. You should have 35 stitches remaining. The next row is going to be a decreasing row on the V-neck. And that is all. You have to keep on decreasing every 4th row on the wrong side. That's why I'm doing the decreasing on the wrong side, because it doesn't sort of spoil the pattern if you do it on the wrong side. So when I get that far, I will come back and show you how to do the shoulders. So this is the sleeve done up to the shoulder. You can see when you hold it against a straight piece how much has been taken away by the V at the front, and the shape of the armhole there. Now I'm going to cast those stitches off now on the shoulder. And you had decreased the stitches on the front until you had 22 stitches left. And those are the stitches for the shoulder to cast off now. So I'm going to cast off 11 stitches at the beginning of the next 2 alternate rows. My phone's a bit blurry. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now knit to the end of that row. Now purl across the next row. And we're going to cast off the second lot of 11 stitches. And the first stitch I'm going to slip, so you don't get such a big step from one lot of cast off to the other. And that's the shoulder stitches cast off. And as you can see, when you slip that stitch, you don't get quite a high. That step, if I hadn't slipped that stitch off, would have been more like that. But it's more sloped now. And that's that cast off. Just need the scissors to cut that off. We'll do that after. And this is the instructions for what I've done. As you can see, the left front, 325mm, cast on 56 stitches and knit 1 by 1 twisted rib for 20 rows. Change to 4mm needles and knit in the 2 purl 2 pattern for 15 inches, ending on a wrong side row. For the armholes and neck shaping, cast off 6 stitches, beginning of the next row, pattern to the last 2 stitches, knit 2 together, pattern 1 row, row 3, cast off 2 stitches, pattern row 4, row 5, cast off 2 stitches, pattern to last 2 stitches and knit 2 together. For the front of the V-neck shaping, knit the last 2 stitches together every 4th row. Still shaping at armhole edge from row 6, cast off 2 stitches, then decrease every row at every row 8 times, and then you'll be left with 35 stitches. And then knit to match the back to 8.5 inches at 66 rows decreasing those stitches every 4th row, and you'll be left with 22 stitches, and cast off 11 stitches beginning of the next 2 alternate rows. And that is the left front, and the right front is exactly the same, just reverse the shaping on it. So I won't show you the right front. The next time will be with one of the sleeves. So give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll be back to show the rest when I get it done. So bye for now.